Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Yes. Standard. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 33 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. Clause 33 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 34.
Annual reports and other reports.
Chairperson of the committee. No, this is in favor, in the name of Osahin Alexander Kwamina for new markings.
Speaker, I rise to make this amendment on behalf of the leader of the minority side. Mr. Speaker, I propose that the minister under clause 34, we add the following new subclause. That the minister shall provide a detailed classified briefing on the budget and expenditure of the security and intelligence agencies to the parliamentary committee responsible for defense and interior. Mr. Speaker, this is in tandem with international best practice. If you go to any jurisdiction where we take if you go to other jurisdictions where we take these issues very seriously, it is important that at least the parliamentary committee responsible for defense and interior are seized with a detailed expenditure of budget approved. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I move this amendment. Thank you.
Yes.
Right, Honourable Speaker, the committee is not the Defence and Interior, if that's what he's proposing. It's Security and Intelligence Committee.
Yes, very well so. So I don't think it harms much to replace Defence and Interior into Security and Intelligence. And so it still stands in terms of the proposal I'm making.
Yes, Honourable Boamah.
Yes, Speaker.
You have been in this house and budgets have been approved. Is that not so?
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
And monies have been approved by Parliament. So is there any law such as this to say that Parliament shall approve money required for expenses of the council or expenses of any institution?
Speaker, I believe that when it comes
the minister shall provide a detailed classified briefing on the budget and expenditure of the security and intelligence agencies to the parliamentary committee responsible for defense and interior. Is there any law, have you made any law of that nature before you exercise your oversight?
Not necessarily, but because when it comes to expenditure of national security, there are always instances where in briefing parliamentary committees, and I stand to be corrected in this matter, there are many budgetary expenditures which are kept without detailed provision under the auspices that this is national security.
Another question that you have to answer is that who determines whether the briefing is in detail or it is not in detail? And if it is not in detail, what happened?
So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that when you talk about detailed expenditure, clearly it means that you have to explain deeper than ordinarily the heads that you would. And it's very clear. If you go to any committee level, leader, I'll come to you. Let me have my bite. If you go to any committee meeting and then budgetary details are being provided, there are certain heads that if you make this provision, the minister, and this national security.
Which committee do you belong?
Speaker, I didn't hear that.
Committee that you belong. Just for the purposes of example.
I'm on the Finance and then Environment Committee. And
so, Finance and Environment Committee. If Ministry of Environment brings their budget, what do?
Speaker, I don't think...
is there any law of this nature before
Speaker,
you do what you are supposed
but
to
you
do.
know, that's why I said this bill that we are passing relates to. The Speaker is engaging me, so let me have my. He has not caught his eye. Speaker has not found you.
Yes.
Speaker, I was trying to draw my brother's attention to order 258 of our standing orders, which has the order 258. Yes, which mandates the Committee on Security and Intelligence. And particularly if you read 258 Rule 3, it says the committee shall examine the budget estimates of the National Security Ministry and agencies under the ministry. You understand? So, no, it's not different. Yeah, so this is very specific. So the guide we are providing for you is that it's not necessary for us to enact a law, because our rules provide for the committee to exercise that oversight. The other matter the Speaker is bringing to your attention is that you are introducing a subjective. You are saying that it should be detailed. So don't let us legislate that way. Let's allow the committee, once the committee has the mandate, when the time comes, they'll exercise that mandate and exercise the oversight. So let's make progress.
Yes, thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I read carefully Order 258 and referencing what Chief Whip indicated. Yes, the committee shall examine the budget estimate, and we know the budget estimate, of course, includes what you intended to spend and what you spent and the receipt on. But the reason why this proposal is being made, specifically in respect of national security, is the way and manner that details of the expenditure are not readily made. And that's why I said, I'm taking this from briefings I have. I'm not saying that is wholly true or false, but from my briefing, my intelligence, it suggests that there are a lot of expenditure that are not made readily available to the committee in detail. And so when you make this provision in this bill, then the committee, and Speaker, this is Committee of Parliament, your committee, and your committee in passing, they should be interested in knowing the exact detailed budgetary expenditure made. So, Speaker, this is to protect us as a house. It is to protect you and to protect your committee.
If the Office of the Special Prosecutor brings a budget, the Office of the National Security Coordinator also brings a budget. Now, in the Special Prosecutors Act, this provision is not there. In the Office of the Special Prosecutor, this provision is here. Does it mean the Office of the Special Prosecutor's budget will not be treated by the committee in the same way that of the... You see, so certain amendment brings problem. Because if a judge is looking at the two laws, this one is saying that the expenses should be in detail, and the other one, it is silence. If you are a judge, what interpretation will you put on it? We don't need this particular legislation to be able to exercise our oversight. The exercise of our oversight is regulated by our own standing order. So how can we be inflicting this injury on ourselves?
So, Speaker, I believe that these discussions are also on record. Hansard is capturing, and it is giving the intendment of us lawmakers.
For me, if you insist, I'll put a question on it.
No, before you put the question, and I would be very happy if you put the question, Speaker. But what I'm saying is that with this engagement, it is clear Hansard is capturing, so that tomorrow, when the committee, your committee, is asking for details of expenditure, they will be guided accordingly. So With that, my said, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
in all the institutions that has been coming before the Finance Committee, most of them are governed by an act of parliament. Where have you seen this rendition in their respective laws? But yet you exercise the oversight. Yes, let me hear from the Deputy Whip.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Boamah is a member of my committee. Yes.
Please, you have the floor.
He's put me there to manage you guys at the committee level. Mr. Speaker, every year or mid-year, the agencies or the ministry will present their budget to the committee. They will give us detailed expenditure and revenue narration to the committee members. And we go further to request for additional information. So, what do you want to register on detailed information? Just last 3 days, we met as a committee. We requested for additional information, and same was provided to the committee. So, I don't know the reasons why we want to drag this matter. Okay, we want Hazard to capture your proposed amendment, which you are going to abandon. So, Mr. Speaker, put the question and let's test it.
So let's abandon.
Abandon your.
Yes, Honorable Member, let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a house of records. I heard my colleague Boamah saying he doesn't even know what he's saying, whether it is true or not, but he got briefing. This committee is on oath. So for members to divulge information to you will be something serious. So I don't want that to be captured in the Hansard because we are on oath. So where did you get your briefing?
I never said from the committee members. And there are so many persons who come to your committee and you cannot. The fact that you are on oath, doesn't mean that I can't get information from your committee. So please,
members, let me put the question
let's be guided.
On the proposed amendment by Alexander Kwamina Afanyo Makin, moved by Honorable Boamah on his behalf. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The amendment is not carried. Now, proposed amendment XIV, standing in the name of the chairperson of the committee. No, I have to put a question on the entire clause 34. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 34 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 35.
Retirement benefits.
Chairperson of the committee.
No proposed amendments.
It is for the consideration of the House. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, clause 35 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 36.
Oath.
Now,
Speaker,
before clause 36, there is
Speaker, respectfully, there's been an engagement with my colleague, Chief Whip, and we think that it's necessary we put some brakes on this bill. And Chief Whip, you are not taking care of my people. You are not engaging. Engage. Yes, Speaker, and I think they should be engaging you further. But at this point, we should defer the discussions on this one, and then maybe something else. Thank you,
Speaker. I believe that you have done so much for today. 2 major bills consideration. So we want to draw the curtains on clause 35 on this particular bill. But Speaker, I want to pray you that because we've had the Deputy Minister responsible for Agric, he's been with us nearly the entire proceedings. We want to pray you to take the questions. We take the questions, then we can.
This brings us to the end of the consideration stage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Of the Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill 2025. Honourable members, question time. May I ask the Minister to take the designated seat as I call on Honourable Richmond Adam Kofi Potosu to ask question number 398. Honourable member, you have the floor. Yes.
Speaker, I have the authority of the member concerned to seek your permission to ask the question on his behalf.
Please do.
I thank you, Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture the plans of the ministry to protect food as a buffer to support Ghanaians in times of any pandemic that will prevent the importation of food items. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the national buffer stock for the first time in our history as a country has been resourced to procure food for emergency services. Mr. Speaker, procurement is currently underway, and this is to provide food buffer for emergency purposes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Speaker, that will be all. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the minister indicates in his answer that for the first time now, his country has been resourced to procure food for emergency. I would like to find out from the minister how much has been made available for this procurement of food items.
You are talking in terms of money. File
Yes.
a new question.
Oh,
Minister, resume your seat. When you are asking of how much, if the minister misquotes the figure, you will put him into trouble. So if it is about specific figure, ask a specific question and he will bring an accurate answer. We will be the very person saying that the minister has come to lie in Parliament. We don't expect that as ministers, they keep everything in their mind. So if you are asking of a specific figure, ask so that he can bring the exact figure. Yes, Honorable Jari.
Speaker, the minister says that this procurement is currently underway. What does he actually mean by that? What do you mean by the procurement is underway?
Minister, what do you mean by procurement currently underway?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Procurement is currently underway means that procurement from the farmers in terms of maize, rice, and so on and so forth is currently being procured from the farmers for storage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, how is this procurement undertaken? How is it being undertaken?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's being undertaken by the National Buffer Stock Company through certain selected companies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, I was trying to find out the procurement procedure or process. Is it single sourcing or selected or
please
competitive?
file a new question.
Speaker, Speaker, this is procurement. Speaker,
yes.
Speaker, I'm just at a loss. It's not to challenge your authority. But Speaker, you talk about procurement is underway. And then you say that it's buffer stock that is there. And I'm only asking for further details, whether or not it's single source.
Honourable members, I keep on saying that question time and supplementary questions should not be taken to be a cross-examination. You are eliciting a fact from the minister, and supplementary question is designed that way so that it relates to the original question, in the sense that the minister should not be taken by surprise. And nobody is a master of all knowledge that when you are sitting as a minister, everything is within your head. So when a specific question is asked, then the minister provides a specific answer. So the question has nothing to do with methods of procurement, but yet your supplementary question is on method of procurement. Meanwhile, if a question is asked the minister the method of procurement in doing ABCD, he will refer to the record and bring you a factual answer.
Speaker, Speaker, I know that you're coming under Order 89, and you are right in this posture. But Speaker, that is also a problem. We may have to look at Order 89 again. Because you see, what it then means is that ministers will just come and answer questions. And you cannot probe further. And if you have to probe further, you are now going to reprogram the minister to come and stand here to answer a question that, Speaker, because when you are talking about procurement, which is generally the case, and you are saying that you should know whether it is single sourcing or competitive tendering, it should be basic.
You see,
or restricted.
I indicated here that members of parliament are regulated as to which question, how they ask the question. But unfortunately, the ministers are not regulated as to how they answer the question. So I cannot be applying the rules to the answers of the minister, but I can apply the rules to the supplementary question. So if we feel as a house that we have a problem with that, then what we will have to do first of all is to cause our rules to be amended. Until then, we have to apply the rules as it is. Yes, so we move to question number 427. Standing in the name of Committee Jolly Gakwe, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture how many metric tons of fertilizers were purchased from 2017 to 2024 and the total cost and how it was distributed.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, between 2017 and 2022, the government implemented a flagship program known as the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign. The primary objectives of the program was to ensure national food security, create employment opportunities, and provide raw materials for local industries, increase agric exports. The PFJ initiative was anchored on 5 key pillars of interventions, namely provision of improved seeds, provision of fertilizer, provision of extension of services, delivery, marketing, and e-agriculture. The program focused on promoting the cultivation of major staple food crops and vegetables widely grown across the country, including maize, soya beans, sorghum, groundnut, tomatoes, and pepper. Under the initiative, interested farmers received support in form of improved seeds and targeted crops, fertilizers, and extension services provided directly by the ministry. The other pillars, particularly marketing and agriculture, were implemented in collaboration with private sector partners. Mr. Speaker, beneficiary farmers accessed fertilizers under the program at subsidized rates ranging between 20% and 50%. Mr. Speaker, the first phase of the program was implemented under a 6-year period from 2017 to 2022. The quantity of fertilizers distributed and corresponding amounts paid under the program are presented in Table 1 below. 2017, 121,000.01. The amount paid was 212,842,042.02.50. In 2018, the quantity distributed was 247,039. In 2019, the quantity distributed was 286,355. In 2020, the quantity distributed was 422,258. In 2021, the quantity distributed was 239,096. In 2022, 71,982. In total, you had 1,315,748.44 metric tons. The total amount between 2017 to 2022 was 1,998,537.00. Mr. Speaker, under the program, private fertilizer companies were engaged through a competitive bidding process to supply fertilizers to farmers. These companies contributed the inputs to beneficiary farmers through their established networks of distributors and retailers across the country. Payments to participating fertilizer companies were made strictly based on the quantities of fertilizers actually supplied to the farmers under the program. Fertilizers were imported by companies specifically for the PFJ, but not distributed to farmers who were not eligible for payment. Mr. Speaker, the fertilizer subsidy program under the Planting for Food and Jobs initiatives was reviewed after 6 years of implementation, PFJ2. The review resulted with the introduction of the input credit system or scheme. Under the input credit scheme, farmers received farm inputs for production on credit through designated aggregators. The farmers were expected to repay the cost of inputs in kind with farm produce after harvest. Mr. Speaker, the quantities of fertilizer distributed under the input credit scheme, together with the associated expenditure, are presented in Table 2 below. In the year 2023, the quantity distributed was 57,300. 2024, 36,990. In total, 74,290. And the total amount paid between 2023 to 2024 is 970,683,920. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to find out from the Minister, looking at the table presented, the table 2022 to 2024, there was a decline in the quantity of fertilizers being purchased. What accounted for that? If you can give. What is your problem?
Speaker, you should file a new question. File a new question. File a new question. You are basing your question on his answer. This is it. We have just read Order 89.
Honorable member, your question is between certain period. In that period, was a minister at post as minister. So therefore, if you ask a specific question, he will be able to make reference to the record and come and answer. Now you are asking about the factors that accounted for a decline. And the factors that accounted for decline, it was not during his tenure of office, so he can only answer that question making reference to the record. That is why supplementary question must be regulated by Standing Order 89. Yes, let's finish with the member asking the question before, unless you are... Yes, do you have any further questions?
Mr. Speaker, in running the ministry, liabilities and assets,
I don't have a problem with that, but what I'm telling you is that let's take it that you are not a minister within the period 2022 to 2024. You've just come to that particular office, and a question is being asked regarding that office as to how many fertilizers that has been procured, what is the cost involved, and how it is distributed. Then you pick those information per the record to come and answer the question. But once at the dispatch box, they are asking you what are the factors that accounted for a decline when it was not during the tenure of your office. Are you being fair to the minister, or are they being fair to you as a minister? Supplementary question is not to spring surprises.
Mr. Speaker, okay, Mr. Speaker, I will move on.
Yes, if you have a further supplementary question, please ask.
I would like to find out from the minister, looking at the distribution, is just the volume that is stated here. What about the regional breakdown of where the fertilizers go? That's what I was eliciting from them.
If you are looking for the regional breakdown, your question would have said so. You say how the fertilizers were distributed. I think the honorable member doesn't have any further supplementary. So, Richard Achampon, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I want to find out from the minister, has the ministry taken steps to punish the owners of the donkeys that ferry fertilizers to Burkina Faso?
Question overruled. Yes, Honorable Kingsley, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, we always take a cue from you, and a cue from you when you always quote 887 or so. Mr. Speaker, the question and the answer. Mr. Speaker, I can't get it, because you see, the question was to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture how many metric tons of fertilizers were purchased from 2017 to 2024, the total cost, and how it was distributed. And you brought a whole lot of issues. Mr. Speaker has been advising us that your answers should be specific. This question didn't warrant all the theses you wrote. This is wrote, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kingsley Nyako, I believe strongly you are not to tell me what to do. I maintain in this house that the rules guide us as members of parliament as to how we ask questions. But there is no rule that guides or that provides a yardstick by which we can measure the ministers as to how they answer the question. And it doesn't lie in your mouth to complain about the answer given as to whether it is correct, it's not correct, whether it is long or short. No.
Mr. Speaker, that is where the temptation lies. Because if you provide such answers, then I'm also compelled to ask questions based on...
Please, let's make progress. Let's move to question number 8.
My question is
4, 3, yes.
So, my question to the minister is that he should expatiate on how the distribution was done. Because you only gave us numbers that were distributed, but you didn't tell us how they were done. Mr. Speaker, the epicenter of the question is how the distribution was done. But here you gave us the distribution numbers.
So, Minister, how was the
done.
distribution done?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you read through, or if my colleague was listening to what I said, we said that the distributed fertilizers were given to the farmers. And every year, according to the table, we have the number of metric tons that were distributed, and we went directly to the farmers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I think we should move to question number 432, also standing in the name of Honourable Jijoli Gakwe.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture how many tractors were imported from 2017 to 2024 and how they were allocated across the country.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 659 tractors were imported by the ministry from 2017 to 2024. These tractors included Mercy Ferguson, Valtra, New Holland, and LS Plus, imported under the Brazil More Food Program, and Cabro Impact tractors from Czech Republic. Mr. Speaker, they were allocated through the receipt of application letters from interested farmers and stakeholders across the country, and upon satisfying the terms and conditions of allocation letters. Mr. Speaker, the mode for allocation of the tractors and the implements specifically was through advertisements of the sale of the tractors and other agric machinery in national newspapers that requested for interested farmers and stakeholders to apply for the purchase. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. In the provision of the answer, the Minister mentioned about the sale in terms of money. I would like to find out from the Minister, have they recovered all the money?
Please. Honourable members, your question is how many tractors imported and how they are allocated across the country. Any question regarding price, file a specific question.
Mr. Speaker, well gathered, I will file another question.
Very well, very well. Honourable members, let's move to question numbered 681, standing in the name of Honourable Emmanuel Kofi Ntakuni, Pro West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the...
Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture the plans the ministry has for the establishment of a farmer service center in Pro West constituency, considering that the constituency typically runs on an agrarian economy.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the ministry, as part of efforts to improve farmers' access and utilization of appropriate farm machinery and equipment for the agricultural production and increase productivity whilst reducing drudgery, is in the process of establishing 58 farm service centers in agricultural districts under the first batch of FSCs. Mr. Speaker, the site selection is ongoing into taking account. Mr. Speaker, the site selection is ongoing, taking into account priority commodities, production levels, existing agricultural machinery population, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, in the medium term of the Feed Ghana program, farm service centers will be established in all agrarian districts. And Mr. Speaker, is noted that this Saturday will be cutting salt for the first farm service center in the Afram Plains. Thank you.
Any supplementary question?
No, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honourable member, this is a constituency specific. We move to question number 714, standing in the name of Honourable Anthony Imie, Member of Parliament for Odotobri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what irrigation and mechanization interventions the government has implemented or planned for Amansia Central District to improve agricultural productivity and food security.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Ministry has begun preparation to roll out the farm service centers across the country, especially in all agrarian economies. And Amansia Central District will have its own fair share of this intervention. Again, Mr. Speaker, immediately the Ministry will deploy some of the water pumps seized from the Galamsey sites to Amansia Central District to support farmers' activities, and also alongside solar-powered irrigation schemes which Ghana Irrigation Development Authority is currently piloting, and that will be deployed as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Minister, can you indicate or provide timelines and specific locations for your intended projects within the district?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe within 3 months we'll get you some of the water pumps, and then also if you are able to indicate to us some of the water bodies that you have, we'll be able to supply those water pumps to you so that the farmers will be able to start using it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any other supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This will be my last one. Minister, with the greatest of respect, what are the measures that have been put in place to enable smallholder farmers in the district to access the intended solar-powered irrigation scheme that is to be introduced within the...
Honourable Minister, you know the implication of your question. You know the implication of your question. You are violating the rules. So take note accordingly.
Very well, then I would rephrase it.
Yes, because your question is on, as the Minister for Food and Agriculture, what irrigation or mechanization intervention have the government implemented or planned for Amansia Central District to improve agriculture production and food security? So your question is bordered on irrigation and agri mechanization. So let's stick to that in terms of supplementary.
I would rephrase it. Minister, with the greatest of respect, what measures are being put in place to ensure that smallholder farmers within my district can easily access and benefit from these irrigation systems and mechanization services?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as colleagues, I'll definitely work together with him to implement this, and then also work together with the district agric officers so that we can implement, or we can make your vision. Thank you.
Honourable members, today we have sat in excess of 5 hours, giving the background and fortified by Standing Order 56-2. I would proceed to adjourn the House, and the House is accordingly adjourned. Till 18th day of March 2026 at, yes, Chief Whip, what time?
Midday, Mr. Speaker.
At 12 noon.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.